Hi guys, I'm checking in from a stable in Dubai in a place called Marmoon. And today I'm super excited to introduce you to a man named Tauseef Qadri, who's actually not only an equestrian, which means that he's a person who rides horses. He's also the senior HR director at Yum Brands, which apparently owns KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell. Right. So what's exciting about this individual is that he does leadership development using horses. And how does he do that? He makes the leadership actually work with horses to build emotional intelligence. So I have a hell lot of questions for him to ask him that, okay, how does he do this? How does it influence leaders? Has this worked? How has this influenced leaders at Mercedes, BMW, and all the clients he's worked with, including Yum Brands? And why did he come into this in the first place? Hi guys, welcome to episode 8 of Honest Reflections. I'm clearly with Tauseef Qadri. I'm really excited to talk about the kind of work he does because honestly, I don't understand any of it. So Tauseef, how the hell do you use horses for leadership development?
So I've grown up with horses. I went to business school as well. You develop leadership simply because by working with horses, they feel your heartbeat 3 feet away. They're so sensitive, being herd creatures, right? Your heartbeat has a direct correlation to your emotional state. So that enhances your self-awareness, as Lenny. But the idea being that the horse will give you that feedback, and you as a leader need to be able to take that feedback. Right? They don't have an agenda, they don't lie, right? So they're being authentic. And because they're resonating with you, your emotional state, that gives you an opportunity to influence the horse and his movements.
So 100% of the people I've ever met in my life have taken such, different approaches to solving business problems, but they've never gone to the extent of using animals to solve business problems. And this is the first time I'm honestly ever even hearing about this. So is there a story behind this? How did you really sort of get into this? Like, how does someone even have this idea come up?
Look, a part of it is coincidence, but I grew up on a horse farm, and whilst I was at university, we were studying this module on emotional intelligence, leadership, and I wrote about the idea that horses have individual personalities. Some are extroverted, introverted. Believe it or not, some of them are left-brained and right-brained. So as a leader of a horse, I needed to adapt my style to engage different ones. Extroverted horses, you talk to them in a completely different way, whereas introverted horses, you engage them in a different way. And so I realized that actually there's some substance here. And I myself was developing leadership characteristics by working with this horse, which wasn't going to lie to me, which was totally authentic. So I experimented with that. I worked with my old professor at university, and pretty soon it snowballed. And I've been lucky enough to travel the world doing these workshops.
So if you were to really break it down into a journey from, let's say, me as a leader walking into this stable and experiencing this, right? So how would my life change within, say, a day of walking out of here? And what does the journey look like?
Yeah, absolutely. It's entirely experiential. So you work with horses from the time you arrive. And I'll give you, for example, Lenny over here. We'll give you the theory of emotional intelligence, being aware of yourself, but then you exercise that by working with the horse through specific targeted tasks. And we teach you how to work with horses, the basics. But you won't achieve the task because the horse doesn't care how much you know until he knows how much you care. And so you really do need to build that relationship. And to build the relationship with the horse, you have to emotionally connect. You have to resonate with his heartbeat. You've got to resonate with the way he breathes and the way he moves. So there's a lot of deep connection that's taking place. Again, it's driving self-awareness. So your task is simple. What I'd like you to do is ask Lenny to take 2 steps back in a straight line. What do?
Can I pull this backward?
You can. There's no rules. Give it a go. Okay, stop, pause. Folks, can you see Lenny's body language? Yeah, he's a little bit quizzical. Why do you think he's quizzical? That's good. That's nice.
That counts. It's one step. Okay. One more.
Oh, really nice.
Leadership.
Why did Lenny turn back to you? If it's leadership, here's some feedback. It's interesting. If it's leadership, he turned and looked at you. The reason why is because he said, did I do the right thing? What do you do in that situation? Absolutely. Absolutely, but you got to really feel it, right? Give him a rub, give him a scratch. Look at his eyes, folks. If you look at Lenny's eyes, they've just softened, and they've softened because he goes, yeah, I think I did the right thing. And the way he's stretching right now, he's telling Tanmay, please groom me more because I think we might be friends. Yeah, look, it's incredible. 99% of the people who come on my program are non-horsey. They've never seen a horse, so they really do need to connect. And so that's really interesting. I'll give you one quote amongst several. One of the top senior leaders from one of the companies that had joined recently, he said, as a leader, I've been doing this for many years, and it's important to ask the right questions, but I realize that it's also important to ask the question right, and that's an incredible insight.
Yeah. Okay. And how did the horse make him learn that?
Good question. I mean, his task was really simple. He had to get that horse to take 10 steps back in a straight line. And again, that's a relatively simple task, but he was being a little bit too firm-handed with this horse. Maybe a bit like his leadership style, controlling. Well, as far as the horse was concerned, he left the planet. He wouldn't go. He'd go left, he'd go right. So he was not asking the question right. And it took him most of the day to realize that actually the style with which he was engaging this horse was totally wrong. Because his partner who was working with him was comfortably able to move this horse back. Right? So that self-awareness is critical. So I've been to Saudi Arabia, I've been to Egypt, I've been to the UK, and then obviously the UAE where I kind of just built on this idea. So it's been I've been pretty lucky to do this.
So another thought that I'm having right now is that if you're doing this for your clients, has this ever changed you? In the sense that has this ever identified the darkest sides in you, the worst things in you? Has this identified something you need to work on? Has this built your emotional intelligence?
Yeah, look, I've been doing these workshops for almost 9 years plus, thereabouts. By nature, I'm a really impatient individual, and I want to get things done quickly. But what these animals teach you is that it's important to be patient, take the time it takes, and then it takes less time. So I think that's one of my biggest insights, is to be prepared to build a relationship, take the time, and it just elicits better results.
Is this what makes you want to get up every single morning?
More than that. I wish I had 2 lifetimes. It's my absolute passion. And I think everyone that has met me will remember me as the horse guy. And it's more than that. It's the knowledge that we can impart, the wisdom that we can impart by using these magnificent animals. I mean, horses have been domesticated more than 15,000 years. So our relationship goes back a long way. And you can say all our major achievements have a hoofprint right next to them. Right? So I'm a big believer in it. I think the great thing is the authenticity part of it. Because horses will not lie. They have no reason to. They don't look at status. Right? And they're so sensitive, they lend themselves to a fantastic sort of experience. It's not about the horse. It's ultimately how do you take it back into your own context. Whether it's at Infido, whether it's at Young, whether it's at Mercedes, it really doesn't matter. It's the insight you have as a leader that you can take back from an experience that will naturally change you. Because a 1,200-pound animal at the end of a rope, it's quite empowering to be able to work with them at a gesture.
Guys, so today, I want to share with you guys as to how Tauseef and my paths crossing really meant a lot to me and why this is a part of Honest Reflections in the first place. So I've always been this novelty-seeking individual who would really want to figure out what are some different things that people are doing across the world. And one of the first human beings I met in Dubai was Tauseef. And when he opened his mouth, I was like, why is your LinkedIn profile picture with a horse? And I thought it was just a random profile picture, but I could never have imagined that the kind of work he does with horses is actually correlating with business ROI. Not in the sense that it's anything financial only, but also building emotional intelligence. And that's something that we guys at Enfido really love as well. So thank you so much, Qadri, and it's really fundamentally changed my thought process on how you can solve problems in this world. And it just doesn't have to be the textbook way, because this is nowhere in any textbook out there.
To be fair, I'm privileged. What I'd like to say is, may the horse be with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.